Welcome to the war. Okay, it's time for the first campaign game in my Test of Honor series. Go easy on me. I've never played a campaign of this game, and I'm trying a lot of experimental rules, well, not experimental rules, but rules for the first time, and adding a few extra bits and pieces there. So this first game might definitely be a learning experience, if only in just how I shoot the video. So without further ado, I'll start explaining the scenario that we're going to play, or I'm going to play. I'm solo gaming this. So as I said before in the previous video, the showcase, if you didn't watch that, go back and watch at least the end of that. It'll probably give a little bit of context. But I've got three forces. Each one of them is going to play each other twice, once as the attacker, once as the defender. And then at the end of all of those games, we're going to have one big kind of 3-on-3 battle to define the ultimate winner of the campaign. So I've already kind of predetermined the scenarios that I wanted to play. I wanted to try some of the more different ones. Like I said, I think I said before, there's a lot of your typical First Clash videos out there. Totally normal. I've done that, but I like to try something new. So in this scenario, the very first game we're going to be playing, I'm going to be playing the Attack at the Shrine scenario. I'll read the little blurb here. It says, or flavor story, I should say. One of the heroes has paused his journey to pray in a small roadside shrine, paying his respects to the spirits of his ancestors. However, an enemy force has chosen this moment to attack. The praying hero's force must fend off the attackers long enough to allow their master to finish his devotions. Now, I don't have an actual building for a shrine, but I have these roadside shrines, and they're malleable enough to put in the middle. So that's going to be the spot that our defending hero is going to be praying at. I won't get into all of the specifics around the battle, but essentially it lasts 5 turns. And the longer that the hero stays praying at the shrine, the more victory points they earn. So a little bit of a debate there. Anyway, or a decision point to be made there. So with that being said, let's go take a look at the forces. All right, let's take a look at the attacker here, the Ikko Rebels. And thank you, James, on the previous video for calling out in the comments that you wanted to see the Rebels first. So why not? Here they are. All right, these forces aren't going to change a lot over each game. I'm going to try to keep them as consistent as possible, mostly because I got no other models to play with, or not painted at least. But here's who we've got going down the line here. So our hero for the Ikko is Renyo, the Keeper of the Gate. He's going to be backed up by 2 traveling samurai, and I was on the fence about naming these characters, mostly because I didn't want to just name everyone after the most famous clan leader of all our respective clans. But I did look up some, I'll go down a little bit of a rabbit hole with some Wikipedia reading the other night. So I decided that this is Master Toshiro and this is Kyuzo, and we're going to see how that plays out. But then outside of that, we've got 3 groups of rebel spearmen, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 groups of just mob characters. And the one on the right, the one with the flowers on the multi-base, has the Oppressed Masses special card as well, or ability card, I should say, upgrade card. Now, I've already picked out the Fate deck there with the red dot, but we've also got 2 quests for each force. And you don't want to keep these face down, but seeing as I'm solo gaming, it doesn't really matter. So we got the Path of Balance and Bastion. Okay, so again, I won't get into reading all those, but basically we got to earn some honor and dishonor cards and keep our spearmen alive. Okay, to earn a card from the Fate deck. All right, let's go take a look at the Honda clan. Okay, for the Honda clan, just going from left to right here with how I got things laid out. Their 2 quest cards are going to be, again, that same Bastion one, keep the spearmen alive. And the Path of Dishonor, gain 5 dishonor cards. That seems like a lot to me, but we're gonna do our best to act as dishonorably as possible. That's actually what I had in mind for this group. Okay, so here our hero is Honda Tadasuka. He's armed with a spear, and this traveling samurai is Honda Yoshihito. And he is actually a named model. I thought that was really cool. I love that guy. And then we've also got the Ashigiru banner bearer, veteran Ashigiru musician, an Ashigaru sergeant, one group of, are they loyal? I think they're loyal. Hang on a second. Yep, loyal bowman with expert shots card given to them. And then 2 units of spearmen, and one of them is got, or loyal spearmen, I should say, and one of them has the protect the master card. So, with that being said, that's our 2 sets of forces. We've got our tokens all set out. We've got our dice ready. We've got our dishonor cards, our honor cards, our injury cards, turn counters, other counters in the trusty Croydon Royal bag. That's a staple for any of these token or dice pulling games, right? Let's get deployed and get started with the game. Okay, it's the end of turn 1. We've already seen a little bit of combat. Things are thick and fast on this edge of the table. So the rebels elected to come on from this table edge, and just the way I was deploying the defending unit with the leader who was praying at the shrine here, and I just had it in my head that maybe this is a bit silly, like, as I'm playing myself, but I basically was anticipating they're gonna come on from this side, like that's where the little village is, and they're like, the villagers, so they're gonna come out. No, they completely came out from this side. So, which, again, never assume anything, even when you're solo gaming. So, lesson learned there. But that being said, they were able to kind of rally and gather, or the defenders were able to rally themselves, start pushing everybody over this way. As I said, the one piece of combat was between these 2 samurai. The Ikko samurai on the right there was able to charge in, but he didn't do any damage. In fact, he fumbled, but it didn't cause any bad effects. Outside of that, let's see, Renyo was able to call in his special order, special moves. He's not really, well, he's not a fighter, but he's able to push a couple of other units forward, including this samurai here, who's closing in. Now, I did make the call, this terrain here, and I don't know if you can even tell, but I'm going to say it like that. I'm going to play this, that anyone trying to get up that or attack up that hill, charge up that hill, can't do it. I mean, literally the models were falling out of the multi-base as they were staying there. So I elected that, yeah, this samurai or whoever's on the top of the hill, they can jump down, do their thing, but you can't attack up it. And I think there might be different spots along the hill. I'll kind of play that as I see it and as we go. Outside of that, let's see what else. So yeah, I did wasn't able to get on one of the units of the rebel mob, but outside of that, I'm anticipating. It's funny, I thought this was going to be a little bit of a slog to get to the center of the table for everyone, especially when the option to have everyone so dispersed was a factor. But no, I think this is going to come to a crashing conclusion pretty fast. So that was a lot to get out there or to digest. I'm excited though. This is fun. Let's see what happens in turn 2. Turn 2, and the action is coming on thick and fast now. Let's start here with these 2 opposing samurai. Both of them have been swinging at each other quite a lot, using all of their actions. However, the Honda samurai was able to inflict a blood drop on his opponent. Outside of that, the rebels continue to move units on the board. They've now got everybody on the board. One of the unit of spearmen here did take a casualty from the Ashigaru spearmen here. Outside of that, the bowmen, despite being at practically point-blank range, weren't able to do much. And then over here, really, yeah, the two wings of the table is where the action's been. This samurai, again, for the apologies. This video or the previous turns video seemed to just stop abruptly or stop recording, and I didn't realize until I played out the fourth turn. So just for consistency or to keep the flow going, I'll start over here. I was going to say this samurai in the blue was able to take out two of the Ashigaru spearmen. You can see that they've, by the end of this fourth turn, they've fallen back significantly. Actually, they pulled back. But outside of that, this side is certainly threatening. The three units of rebels here on the top, they're certainly starting to pile down the hill. And really, in this fourth turn, unless I think they really make a breakthrough here, then I don't think they're going to do it at all. The fourth turn really was quite uneventful. I mean, a lot of combat going back and forth, but very little damage being dished out or hits being able to be inflicted. Let's pull over on this side. So these two samurai continue to duel, but again, to really no avail. We're losing, excuse me, losing an infantry or a body here and there, but really, again, nothing that crazy happening. Renyo was able to, here behind the woods here, was able to start dishing out orders and maneuvering people. The samurai leader here continues to pray. I mean, honestly, I think probably, you know, what we're talking about going into the next turn, that's probably going to give them enough victory points to call this a win. But who knows? We'll still play it out. They may surprise us, and we'll see what happens. On to the next turn. It's been an explosive fourth turn. Lots to update you on. First, the subtle stuff. These two samurai continue to just fumble every attack and not really do anything. The rebels are having a hard time pulling their units up, but they have been gradually just kind of wearing down the Ashigaru. However, the big news of the game, or the big news so far, is the Honda clan leader here finished his prayer and was able to not only cut down one of the rebel samurai and completely, but also did it with dishonor. And he also hit this unit of spearmen as well, who'd already gone. Again, acting dishonorably, so he's now got 2 dishonor cards on him. However, he does have the objective that he needs to gain 5 of those, so that's kind of working in their favor and working the character to which I plan to do there. I mean, at this point, I've got to say, I was initially worried that the rebels, who, for what I must say, have incredible staying power, like passing all of their tests of honor to not run away. Also, thanks in part to their leader there up on the top of the hill. But for the most part, they can't seem to land any blows. They're just not delivering there. And I think the combination of the amount of damage that they've taken and the length of time that the Honda hero was able to pray at the shrine, I think that's going to really work against them anyway. We'll see what happens in the 5th turn. This has definitely been an enjoyable game. It has certainly come to life at the end here. On to the next turn. At the end of turn 5, that's the game, and this is firmly a win for the Honda clan. So I've got to be honest, the last turn really was sort of like the 3rd turn. These both sides really just had taken such a beating that they didn't have a lot of, first of all, a lot of options to really do much other than charge into the unit nearest them, but also the amount of damage that had been heaped up, or blood drops that had been heaped up, made things sort of end in a little bit of a stalemate. And I've got to say, I'm going to do some more reading on some of the rules, because I feel like my strike rolls really were hard to make. Just the initials, you go through a strike roll, then an avoid roll if they've got an action left, and then a damage roll, and the strikes just were not hitting consistently throughout the game. This wasn't just the last turn. So maybe I'm missing something there. I know you get bonuses for having more, groups of men, and as long as they stay in a group, then they get that bonus. But that just, I don't know, unless it was just atrocious dice rolling. But for instance, those two traveling samurai over here, I mean, they spent the entire game just bouncing off each other, basically. I think they hit every once in a while. They got a few blood drops. But anyway, that being said, this game ended up using the victory points method described in the book as 7 points to the Honda clan, 5 points to the Rebels. However, the special scenario with our general here on the left, Honda Tadasuke, he was able to pray for the maximum amount of time, and that gave them additional bonus points. So this ended up being 13-5 in the Honda clan's favor. So yeah, quite significant. In terms of the honor and dishonor cards, neither side was able to complete the Bastion card, keeping Spearman alive, basically. And we almost got that quest for gaining 5 dishonor cards right. This guy was just the worst, but ended up only attaining 4 when he needed 5. And the Rebels, I think they achieved 2 honor cards, but didn't get any more than that. So with that being said, I am going to do a little bit of this is the start of the campaign, so I'm going to play out the post game kind of character progression, skill building step. I'll run through that. I'm going to do it off camera and then give a summary just to see how we progress here. But I hope this was enjoyable to watch. It was fun to play. Again, I'm very surprised how quickly this goes. Once you really start going, it's a very fast play game. I love that, and but very, very tense as well, very exciting. So yeah, all right, let's see how these 2 opposing forces progress in our little campaign here. Okay, here's the post-game sort of character development. So first of all, I rolled, I'll go character by character. So even though the Ikko Rebels lost, they were able to retain 1 skill card, and this was for Master Toshiro. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't quite understand I understand it, but I'm not sure how it's beneficial. At this character cuts in a warrior, choose to take an honor card. Friends of the cut down warrior then gain +1 dice, so it has to keep their nerve. That seems to benefit the defender, the team that got cut down, or the side that got cut down, more than the victor. But anyway, outside of that, let's just go really fast here. So Renyo actually got a really good roll on the character progression table and was able to gain 1 point to his test of honor score, which is already 6. So he's up to 7 now for his test of honor. Very impressive there. Let's see here. Master Toshiro carried over a blood drop to the next game, not 2 there, you can see on the token, but he will be carrying over a blood drop to the next game. And then Kyuzo here, he has taken an injury. He's lost 1 to his agility with that leg injury, but he's going to be just fine as long as he can take 2 more of those injury cards. And then let's look over here on the Honda side. Just flipping over my notes just to keep up with all this. Despite getting all of those dishonor cards, the dastardly Honda Tadasuke passed his test of honor, so that was all really to no effect. And outside of that, we did keep his 1 card here that allows him to make an action with another warrior before he takes or lets him take a free action. So that's very handy. That was the skill that he decided to keep. And then Honda Yoshihito here, so ironically, despite him just being in like a permanent clash with his counterpart on the other side, he got the eager for battle skill, which means in his next game, he gets a free turn or a free action. So that's very handy. And that blood drop won't carry over. That's just left over from where I was at. So with that being said, this is an interesting game, a good game, a good first game. I'm sure there are a couple of things that I'm gonna improve on. I think rules wise in the next game, and certainly tactically as well. I think I'll grow into different tricks and tips, especially with the cards and how those all kind of interact. But this was definitely a fun first game. Hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll get around to playing the next one soon. Thanks for watching.